Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited for this year's conference as we celebrate 25 years of the young professionals in the National Urban League. Yes, that is 25 years of phenomenal leadership and growth in amazing ways. We have so much to be proud of and to celebrate this year, so give yourselves another round of applause. This year's opening plenary is appropriately titled Dreaming Out Loud, Igniting Your Path with Passion and Purpose, because it's designed to inspire all of us to envision our future with ambition and intention. We'll hear from role models who've turned their dreams into reality through dedication, creativity, and relentless pursuit of their passions on a national platform. And as we engage today and throughout this week, an extra important reminder that should be front of mind for us all right now. The Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 seeks to create an authoritarian U.S. government expanding unchecked presidential power and dismantling civil rights. Oppose this threat to democracy by texting Stop Project 2025, all one word, to 52886. Now, before we begin our panel discussion, let's take a moment to thank our sponsors of today's plenary, Diageo and Airbnb. Here with us today are Shante Butler, Vice President of Inclusion and Diversity at Diageo North America, and Trisha Todman, Senior Stakeholder Engagement and Operations Lead, 21C at Airbnb. Please help me welcome them to the podium.
We believe that inclusive and diverse culture makes for a better business and a better world.
We celebrate diversity, we celebrate life,
every day,
everywhere,
with everyone.
Good afternoon. I'm Shante Butler, VP of Inclusion and Diversity for Diageo North America. On behalf of our team, we are honored to support the National Urban League in its work advancing economic empowerment in underserved communities. Diageo is a global leader in the beverage alcohol space, producing such brands that you know, Crown Royal, Guinness, Don Julio, Ciroc, and many, many more. Yes, we love the spirits. Our company's purpose is driven by celebration. It's about celebrating the special moments that define us and the communities we are part of. We celebrate dreaming for inclusion, equality, and new opportunities because dreams lead to innovation and change. Encouraging dreams is the first step in shaping our reality. I would not be standing here today if it were not for my ability and freedom from my parents that they afforded in me to dream that anything was possible for me with a goal, hard work, resiliency, perseverance, and a little luck along the way. In 2017, before joining Diageo, I worked at a tech company in the product quality area. I really recognized the need for change in the company's culture and how I could play a role to solve that problem. During an employee resource group workshop, I wrote down my long-term goal was to be head of DEI at a tech company. I kept that piece of paper with me with my dream on it for 2 years and did not look at it until I was appointed head of DEI at that tech company. Thank you. Writing it down made me put a plan in place to make my dream a reality. It took me 2 years, but I made it happen. There is power in dreaming and even more power in speaking and writing your dreams. I had the audacity to dream that I could do the work even though I was not a traditional HR DEI professional. It will not always be easy, and it will not always be a linear path, but if it's your dream and you're willing to put in the work, you can make it happen. Today, I'm thankful that I work at a company like Diageo, where our mission of celebrating life every day, everywhere, is for all of us. And I get to be part of this mission by having a role that truly combines my passion and purpose in life. It really is a dream come true. I'm excited to hear from our panel on the importance of dreaming, and I hope that you take away from that the possibility of your dreams, and I hope you continue to enjoy the conference. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. This is a beautiful room, by the way. All right, my name is Trisha Todman, and I am Senior Stakeholder Engagement and Operations Lead at Airbnb. Airbnb is so proud to sponsor this important recognition of 25 years of National Urban League Young Professionals. You all are the change makers in our community. You truly apply your passion with purpose to emblazon a path for yourselves and inspire others to do the same. I want to first start by saying thank you to President and CEO of National Urban League, Mr. Mark Morial, and to the President of National Urban League Young Professionals, Shalana Hollingshed, for inviting us to be here to be part of today's celebration and share a little bit more about our work. Core to Urban League's mission for our community is to secure economic self-reliance, and this aligns strongly with Airbnb and our mission. While many people think of Airbnb as a place to book a trip, it's also an economic lifeline for people around the world. Through hosting on Airbnb, everyday people can share their homes and extra bedrooms to earn extra meaningful income. In fact, hosts have earned more than $200 billion collectively around the globe since Airbnb began. In 2023, the typical host in the US earned an estimated $14,000. Airbnb has long worked to help communities benefit from the power of hosting. Over the last several years, we've undertaken a series of initiatives to specifically support communities of color, including Black and Latino hosts, in experiencing the economic benefits of tourism and hosting in the places they call home. This includes the Airbnb Entrepreneurship Academy, which is an entrepreneurship development program to introduce people from diverse and historically underrepresented communities, including communities of color, to host on our platform. Through the Academy, we partner with organizations like Black Brand, Center for Black Innovation, and the National Association of Real Estate Brokers to help participants learn how they can become entrepreneurs by turning their spare room or property into a source of extra money on Airbnb. I even first started hosting on Airbnb back in 2016 by sharing a spare bedroom in order to help me pay for my home. And I've moved on now to hosting an entire home, and I'd like to think of myself as a hosting success story. You know, I'm planting the seeds to build generational wealth for my family, and I'd like to see us all be able to do the same. I'd also like to acknowledge my colleague, Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, who's here. She's the former mayor of Baltimore and current chair of Airbnb's Housing Council. Thank you for being here, Stephanie. She's also here if any of you would like to know more about how Airbnb partners with communities to support policies that protect housing while ensuring that we have opportunities for hosting. All right, I'll close by saying we're so excited for the progress ahead and look forward to continuing to engage with the National Urban League. And again, thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to today's conversation.
Thank you so much, Shantae and Tricia. On behalf of the National Urban League and our young professional leaders, we say a sincere thank you to Diageo and Airbnb for your support. It is truly a pleasure to now introduce our moderator for today's featured panel, one of our very own Urban League young professionals, Jaquetta Van Zandt. Jaquetta is Vice President of Engagement and Mobilization at the Partnership, Inc., the premier New England organization focused on attracting, retaining, and developing young professionals and professionals of color at all levels of leadership. Prior to joining the Partnership, Inc., Jaquetta honed a political skill set on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., as well as various state and federal campaigns. She has been a respected voice at the table to aid in making significant decisions that impact communities of color. A highly sought-after political strategist with a special focus on public policy and diversity initiatives, her work focuses on bringing about equal opportunities for women of color. Her goal towards making an impact on her community and to bringing important issues to light, such as pay equity, financial literacy, socioeconomic development, women's empowerment, and diversifying the legislature, are at the heart of today's most important issues. In addition to hosting a podcast, Politics and Prosecco, Jaquetta currently serves on the board of directors for the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. Please join me in extending a warm National Urban League Young Professional welcome to Jaquetta Van Zandt.
Good afternoon, young professionals. What a joy to be here with you guys today. This is a really great conversation that we're going to have. On this stage, we have an incredible representation of beauty, brains, and heart. 6 of our African American Miss Americas who are so much more than beautiful faces. These amazing leaders and women are movers and shakers who are making positive impacts on individuals, communities, and organizations across the nation. But I won't steal their thunder. I can't. We are humbled and excited to have them here with us today to share in their own words invaluable insights, personal stories, and overcoming challenges and seizing opportunities. This plenary with our panelists will motivate you to think big, equip you with practical strategies to take the first steps towards achieving your dreams. Whether you're just starting out or looking to rekindle your passion, this session promises to be a powerful catalyst for personal and professional growth. Young professionals, today's panel brings together Miss America 1990, Dr. Debbie Turner Bell. Miss America 1994, Kimberly Aker Cochran. Miss America 2003, Erica Harold. Miss America 2004, Erica Dunlap. Miss America, Caressa Cameron Jackson. And Miss America 2019, Nia Franklin. Get up on your feet and let's give these panelists a warm National Urban League Young Professionals welcome. My mother thinks this is a round table, so I'm gonna take a photo of you guys in the background so that she knows it. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's dive in. Dr. Turner, we'll begin with you. You are incredibly well accomplished. A veterinarian, author, journalist, corporate trainer, minister, motivational speaker, wife, and mother. You've shared your insights on personal excellence, determination, goal setting, and more with millions of young people and adults across the country, and your beliefs reflect your own life lessons. You've shared that it took 7 years and 11 tries in 2 states before becoming Miss America. But you persevered and you won. Right? Give it up for that. That's big.
Praise the Lord.
Can you share with our YPs the importance of perseverance and determination in pursuing our dreams and goals, especially today when many often feel the pressure to succeed early and quickly in their careers?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing worth having, nothing that you will get that does not require determination and perseverance. I like to say it like this. It doesn't matter how you start the race. It doesn't matter if you are in the lead halfway through the race. It doesn't even matter if you're in the lead at the 90-meter mark in a 100-meter dash. It only matters if you actually cross the finish line. And we live in a time where it's so easy to run up against obstacles, run up against what people say in their opinions or statistics or odds or even tragedy and trauma in life and say, oh, I can't do it, or maybe that's just not for me. But we're all living proof that if you persevere, if you don't give up, you will make it to your goal eventually. And so as important as having a dream, I like to say you gotta want the work as badly as you want the dream, because it's going to take the work to get you to that dream.
Thank you for that wisdom. That was powerful. My next question is for you, Kimberly. You've had great successes in the face of adversity, brain surgery at only 11 years old, the first African-American woman to win Miss South Carolina a few years later, and only 8 weeks after that moment, winning the Miss America title at the young age of 18. You've been an accountant, owner, operator of a national franchise, founded a financial management and consulting firm. Today, you're president and CEO of a minority and female-owned firm, and of course, you give back in huge, meaningful ways, including as a major fundraiser for the Miss America Foundation and is the current chair of the Forever Miss America Scholarship Selection Committee. You overcame adversity early in life to accomplish these incredible successes. Our question is this: what insights would you share with our young professionals about the value and lessons we can glean from adversity in our lives?
Well, I just will echo everybody up here and probably anyone out there that when you face adversity, I always like to say you can make it let you rise to the occasion, or you can allow it to make you crumble. And for me, I have always decided that all of the adversity, even from a young child, when I was 10 years old and diagnosed with a rare brain condition and told that I had to have brain surgery, I had to go to school after having brain surgery a couple of weeks before with half my head shaved. And just being a black girl, first of all, and how we love our crown, and having to experience that, it gave me a sense of self-confidence that is internal, because my outer appearance didn't look the way, I wanted it to look. So I've always taken that, and I would just say, when you have adversity, find those moments that you can take to push yourself forward, to make yourself better. A moment ago, we were in the luncheon, and I talked about some of my health challenges, and more recently, I overcame breast cancer. And in that, thank you. In that challenge, that was another set of diversity, but in that challenge, it made me feel so strong and so powerful that I decided, you know what, an opportunity came about for me to purchase a company that had been around for about 27 years and had a track record. I had never done this work before. But I thought, if not me, who? Because I've been through things, I've overcome them, and I challenge you all to do the same. Find that internal that you have, where your grandma said to you, baby, you can do it. Say that to yourself. So that would be my advice.
That is so timely. Thank you so much for that. Erica, it's your turn. You are a powerhouse in a legal profession, educated at Harvard Law School, which you funded through scholarships, through appearance fees, I understand. And as you earned the Miss America 2003, a stellar career as a litigation attorney in Illinois, and currently the executive director of the Illinois Supreme Court Commission on Professionalism. That's new for me, I didn't know about that. As an advocate for civility, ethics, and inclusion, you lead the Commission's extensive educational programming focused on advancing professionalism among the state's lawyers and judges to build confidence in the justice system. Lifting your voice to serve, you've been active in Illinois politics, running for Attorney General. Clap for that. So here's our question. So many young professionals are honestly turned off by politics today. They feel conflicted at times, even resigned about this year's election on every level, local, state, and national. What message do you have for young professionals who may be really struggling to just stay engaged in the voting process without talking about candidates?
So often, people talk about wanting to be engaged in the political process because they want to see change happen. But people, I think, are turned off by the toxicity that exists within the political process. It seems like people are focusing on personalities over principles. They're focusing on tearing down other people rather than saying what it is that they have to offer to the electorate. And so what I would say is, don't let people make decisions about you unless you are at the table. There are a lot of stakes for young people in every election cycle. Whatever your issue is, make sure that you hold people accountable. One of the values that we promote at the Commission on Professionalism is civility. And that's so important to me because I think the incivility that's happening right now in our political discourse is the main driver of why people feel turned off by the toxicity in politics. They hear people tearing people down. They see compromise as something that's a dirty word almost. And if we are in a country that's this divided, if we're going to be able to move forward, we have to be able to find common ground and build a bridge. I think one of the things that really unites all of us is that regardless of our backgrounds, we are able to find commonality in unity. And so I would say to young people, if you're interested in politics, but the incivility turns you off, press forward and forge forward. Think of all of the people who fought for our right to vote. Think of the people who put their lives on the line, whether it was in bus boycotts, whether it was in protests. Those are people who overcame inconvenience, they overcame incivility, and they overcame the challenges. So step up to the plate because our values, our politics, and the policies that affect us are on the line. Don't let people decide about you without you.
So in other words, right? That was, because we love a little history lesson. So in other words, if you're not at the table, you're on the table.
That's right, you're on the menu.
I love that. Thank you so much for that, Erica. And you crowned our next panelist.
We had back to back, black to black, Erica to Erica.
So you all crowned each other. We get the girl magic there. Love that. Y'all are making me mess up my words on the screen.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Erica Dunlap, thank you. You are an award-winning public relations strategist, a visionary, an entrepreneur, community leader, TV show host, amazing racer, and the first and only Black woman to be crowned Miss Florida in the 100-year history of the program. And then later that year, you won Miss America. That's pretty dope. You are the CEO of Crown Communication Group, a communications and PR firm in Orlando. You served your community for more than 3 decades as a mentor, board member, trusted advisor, motivational speaker, entertainer, and especially important right now, a champion for diversity, equity, and inclusion, best practices in the workplace. You do that in universities and communities across the country. Here's our question for you. We all know that DEI has been taking hits for some time now. In our local communities, in our states, and on the federal level, how can our young professionals move the ball on preserving DEI as leaders in their own communities?
So being authentic to yourself is critically important, and when you live in a state like Florida, it becomes challenging. How many people are from Florida? Anybody? Hey, how y'all doing? So being authentic to yourself is critically important, and so when it comes to what DEI means, regardless of what label they put on diversity and inclusion, regardless of how they may eliminate the programs, eliminate the funding, eliminate the jobs that relate to diversity, it's important that you still show up for the people who are coming behind you, show up for yourself, show up for your family, show up for your dreams, your goals. Your dreams and goals may not be to attain a particular position, but it's certainly to increase generational wealth and to provide your family with the opportunities that you have set forth for yourself. So I think it's most important to just stay authentic to who you are. Never allow for your culture, your identity, your diversity to be removed from whether it's your workplace, your university. Still be who you are, because at the end of the day, that's what we need in order to have truly inclusive places of business and truly inclusive communities, is us being who we are and being celebrated for that and celebrating ourselves in that.
Thank you for that. That's great. I just want to pause. This is a very colorful panel here. And I didn't get the memo about the pink, even though pink and green.
Listen, the pink and green is simply as a subliminal message that we need to stand in solidarity for Sister Kamala. But I'm telling you right now, as a member of Delta Sigma Theta, I am just up here. I am not up here in my Jolly Green Giant suit promoting anything other than peace and harmony. That's it.
It's just sisterhood.
That's all that it is. It's all about
sisterhood.
It's a group sisterhood.
I do have to say that I planned.
It's just sisterhood.
I do have to say that I did plan to wear something else, but then once the announcement was made, I felt I needed to represent my sister and wear pink.
Yes.
And I am a proud card-carrying member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated as well. Yes.
I'm just gonna do that.
See what you did there, Jaquetta?
Just wanted to clear the air. Just wanted to clear the air.
Wasted America's time. So before I introduce Caressa, I just want to point out that in doing my research with this panel, I watched videos, I watched them all be crowned, and I wanted to make sure that I knew who all of you were. But there was a documentary that Caressa did, and she kind of blew the lid off of, how Black women are branded within the Miss America universe and the brand. And she talked about hair. And she basically said, listen, my face had to be beat, my hair had to always be done, and when we get ready, it takes a little bit more time. You gotta get that press right. You gotta make sure that, I had to diffuse this today and it still didn't work. But it is still something that women, and especially with the Crown Act just happening, still something that we face every day, trying to have this corporate look. And so I want to thank you, Caressa, for making sure that people like me and other girls in the community knew that this was not a unique issue, that this was, even you all, with all of your beauty, face the same issues. So thank you for that, Caressa. So I want to say that. We're going to get back on track. Okay. And next, we have Caressa Cameron Jackson, Miss America 2010. Caressa, since your reign, you've received numerous congressional honors and the President's Volunteer Service Award in recognition of your advocacy and your policy work with people living with HIV and AIDS in the United States. You've spoken to over 100,000 students on making healthy choices and taking the future by storm. And like all of our Miss Americas seated on this panel today, you are a true creative. Performed during the 2008 presidential inauguration, a worship leader at one of the largest churches in Virginia, and recently recorded a single, The Fire, which can be heard on LifePoint Worship's newest album, Mountain Valley. And your creativity shines as an entrepreneur, having launched Caress by Design, a luxury wedding and event planning company. So here's a question for you. This generation of Urban League young professionals are, as Nina Simone sang, young, gifted, and Black. Yes. What advice would you share with them about how to channel their youth, gifts, heritage, and culture to make positive impacts in their communities?
One of my favorite things to say is I love being Black. It is so cool. And it is a very unique experience because, especially this generation, we are the culmination of our ancestors' wildest dreams, right? We are old enough to have heard the stories of our parents and our grandparents and the things that they had to deal with. And we're also at the intersection of dealing with racism and sexism and all of the isms under the underbelly and the undercurrent of how they write laws and how they write policies and how we work in and out of our workspaces. And so for me, it is knowing that we can show up in a way that many other cultures cannot, right? We drive marketing, we drive culture. Like, everyone's always trying to be Black, but they don't want to be Black. Like, let's just be honest about it, right? And so because we know that, we would do a disservice by not showing up in all of the spaces that God has created us to occupy fully. And so that's one of the reasons, like you were talking about with the documentary, where I brought up the stuff about the hair. It's partially why I'm locked now. It's wanting to show up in spaces that's going to make you look at me, make you see me, and I'm going to be here, and if it makes you uncomfortable, good. Think about yourself, reflect on what you're doing that's making you feel uncomfortable, and do the work. I'm not going to do the work for you, because a lot of times they're asking Black women to do the work for them. We're not going to do that either, not unless you're paying for it. And so I think it's important for us, yes, pay us please, because they're always asking us to do free labor, and not no more. So I just think it's really important for us to realize every unique gift, talent, perspective, and vision, and all of the things that we can bring into the spaces that we're supposed to occupy, because we are meant to change the culture of where we go. So if it feels a little uncomfortable in some of the places that you're in, you're shattering ceilings, you're making people feel a little some type of way, it's okay, because sometimes it's up to us to save ourselves, and we can't do that until we show up.
Thank you. That is perfect. Yes. And speaking of young, gifted, and Black, we have Miss America 2019, Nia Franklin. Nia, you have been making quite a mark in the artistic world as a composer, actress, conductor, and classically trained opera singer. The Dallas Symphony Orchestra and many others have performed your music, and you were the composer in residence at the Festival Napa Valley in 2021, where you earned a prestigious prize for excellence and innovation in classical music. Your EP, Extended, featured your R&B songs and an orchestra piece, Chrysalis Extended, which has nearly 4 million views on your TikTok profile. And you also use your voice to transform lives through art. You are the founder of Compose Her, an initiative that seeks to empower women in music, and you are on the boards of the Opera on Tap and the University of North Carolina School of Arts. Nia, our Urban League young professionals in this room are truly your peers, and we love and appreciate our brothers, but our question for you is about Black girl magic and the power women hold in our hearts, our heads, and our hands. What message would you share with the sisters in this room about the power as women, and so that we can make real differences in our communities?
So to echo a lot of what my sisters up here have said, I would say to really know your value in the workplace, in your communities, anywhere that you go and you're offering your time, whether you're volunteering or whether you're getting paid for the work that you're doing, know your worth and know your value, because often as women of color, often as men of color, we can sometimes forget how powerful we are. Our voices are so powerful. Our creativity is invaluable. And so really know that when you walk into any room. I've had times where people have asked me to be a part of their events, but they don't always give you the respect that you need. And you need to demand that. And there's so much power in saying no as well. You don't have to say yes to everything. And that's one thing I've really learned throughout my time I didn't always get the chance to say no as Miss America. But since being out of the contract of Miss America, I've been able to really say no to things that I genuinely don't feel like I connect with. So really being true to yourself, having that sense of I am valuable, I deserve success, I shouldn't have to beg for success. I can walk into a room and really shine, and it's up to you to know your value. And also being able to walk away from things when they don't align with your core values. It's okay to say no. You want to be aligned with brands, with companies, with volunteer organizations that you genuinely and organically feel are a fit for you. And so you are valuable, and make sure that you take that with you wherever you go, and you will succeed.
And I want to thank you for that, because oftentimes, I wish we could do a plenary session on the power of saying no, right? Like how setting boundaries is important, not only just in workspaces, but in your personal life too. So thank you all for sharing such rich information with us today. Now let's take some questions from our audience. If you have a question, please step to the mic where they are. My contacts won't let me see further than this. And wherever you're sitting, someone with their hand raised will hand you a microphone. Announce your sorority first.
Coincidence. Annette Bowser, president of Denver Urban League Young Professionals. Thanks. All of you ladies have super stacked resumes, and I feel like a lot of times we get boxed in, like you need to have a niche and you're doing too much. How do you navigate multiple baskets and making sure you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, making sure you're doing multiple things and you're doing the multiple things well, like things aren't falling by the wayside? Thank you.
I'll take that just a little bit. First of all, I think it's very individual. And there are some people that can manage multiple avenues of interest and passions and skills and do it really well. But if that's not who you are, then find the thing for which you are gifted and you are skilled and divinely been given dispensation to do, and then master it. What I've learned in the long years I've been on this earth is we live now in a time that people might overlook you because you're black or a person of color or female or from a certain part of the country. What they cannot overlook is excellence. And it's just simply a matter of marketability. And if you can make money for your company, if you increase the bottom line, they give you a seat at the table just so that they can use your talents and use your ability. And you can take that and parlay that into what you want to do next. I often like to say sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get you to doing what you want to do. And don't despise those small beginnings. Start small and master it until people come looking for you. This is how you know you're gonna make it. This is how you know you've made it. When people come looking for your talent, when you don't have to go knocking on doors for your talent. So let your gifts make room for you and then build on them.
And can I just add, I just want to add to that. I love what you just said, but I would take just one other piece of it. Always be willing to pivot. I think sometimes we get bogged down in, I got this degree, or I'm holding on to this job, or whatever the situation is, and you are not valued, you are not appreciated, whatever the case may be. Have the courage to step out, especially you're a young professional. You have so many more years ahead of you. Do your passion. I mean, I think it's important to make money, for sure, but do something that you feel passionate about that makes you want to get up every day. And if that is not what you're doing and truly there's something else that you want to do, feel willing to pivot. And then, you know, Debbie and I can tell you, both of us have pivoted into so many different iterations of careers. And don't be afraid to do that, and don't apologize for it. Be willing to do it, and whatever you're doing, if you are doing it with excellence, it's moving you forward, no matter what that is.
Anyone else want to add?
So I also want to add giving yourself a little grace. So I am guilty of being a person who feels like I have my feet in a million different things. And my mom is always like, you're not maximizing on this part of yourself, and you're not maximizing on this part of yourself. And it's like, well, girl, the 3 parts of myself I'm maximizing on, I am maxed out. So it's okay to give yourself a little grace and understand that sometimes your focus may be on one of your talents, and that doesn't mean that something else is falling by the wayside. It just means that this is what I am choosing to focus my attention on at this moment, and then I will pick up the other thing. Sometimes you get fatigue in the one area, right? And so being able to pick up something else that brings you joy is a good thing too. So just give yourself a little bit of grace. We are all multi-talented people. We're multi-hustling people. That's a great thing. But breaks are okay, and grace is okay. And so just give yourself a little of that.
Can I add one thing to that? It came into my spirit, and that is, don't be afraid to fail. Every great success is built on a foundation of failures. And very often, so many of us are perfectionists, and we want things to be just the way we envision and it can render us paralyzed, where we don't do anything because we're afraid to fail, afraid to disappoint someone. But put yourself out there. I'm a woman of faith. I believe that we live off of faith. And so put yourself out there, have faith that God's got you. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. You dust yourself off, you learn the lesson, and then you use that lesson for the next thing. I love to say that, you know, the saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again. That's okay. But if at first you don't succeed, learn, improve, then try again. But don't be afraid to fail.
Okay, one more thing to add to it. You mentioned having a niche, and I think that's a buzzword that gets so used. But what if you were the niche? You don't have to put yourself in these boxes. You don't, and I think it's so important to not let society or professors or coworkers, whoever it is, tell you you're this one thing. We as Black people, we are incredible, we're magical, we are phenomenal, so why box yourself in and be small? That's what the world and society, they want us to be small, but we can be big, we can shine, we can be as bright as we want to be, and we oftentimes limit ourselves. It's often in our mind, we make up these scenarios, so just go, fly, do the things that you're passionate about, and if you fail, great, learn from it and continue to move on and to be excellent from there.
Any other questions in the audience? Yes.
How you guys doing? Can you hear me? All right.
Yes.
My name is Elijah Green. I'm here with the Austin Area Urban League Young Professionals.
Oh, now I can hear.
You can hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I'm Elijah Green. I'm here with the Austin Area Urban League Young Professionals. I'm a military vet, small business owner, and I work in the tech space. So after getting out the military, I dealt with a lot of problems when it comes to what y'all spoke about, core values and following those core values. My question for you guys would be, understanding your core values and understanding your specific identity as a Black man or woman, as a professional, as a leader, how do you navigate in your career as being a Black man or woman and setting the tone, setting those boundaries, and doing the right thing versus following that career track until you're able to do the right thing?
I'll take that. So I love that you mentioned core values. And one of the things that I think is really important is to define what those values are before you enter your profession and decide what are the things that are non-negotiable for you. And I say that because you will be confronted with opportunities and challenges in your life where those core values will be tested. And you don't want to be defining those values for yourself in the moment. I can tell you at the very beginning of my legal career, I was asked to do something that I knew was unethical. And I knew that I was being asked to do it because I was the most junior person and the person who had the least amount of power and leverage to be able to say no. And when I first tried to push back, the attempt was to kind of diminish me. You're not tough enough to do this. Maybe you're not cut out to be a lawyer. So trying to sow those seeds of self-doubt. But I thought I did not work hard to get a law license to lose it for a client that's going to put me in a difficult position. And so I had a mortgage. I had no other job offer if I lost that, but I thought, this is a defining moment. I don't want to be the kind of person that's pressured into compromise. And so I actually called the ethics officer at our firm, and I said, this is what I've been asked to do. I know it's the wrong thing. I'm not going to do it, but I want to make you aware of it. And then I spent the weekend thinking, okay, am I going to have to move back home with my parents? My mom's right there, so she's like, no. But but I didn't know the consequences, what they would be. Fortunately, the ethics officer said to me, you did exactly what we would want you to do. If you had done this unethical thing, not only would it have harmed your career, but it would have harmed our firm as well. But it was because I knew what my core values were and the non-negotiables for me that I was equipped to be in those positions. And so what I would say to you is not only define those core values, but also realize that sometimes they may cost you. And the cost, though, is worth paying because you don't want to be the kind of person that compromises who you are, your values, and your dignity.
Great answer.
And can I add the practical side to that? The way to be able to live by those values is you have to have savings. You know, we as a people, we're great consumers. We're the largest part of the market in this economy, but it's because we spend. And if you have savings and you have investments, then you have the ability to make those hard choices and not, you know, be destitute because of them. So don't spend every dime you make. Put some away to be able to say, I can walk away if I have to.
Y'all need to clap harder on that one. Y'all clapping real light. That was a word.
It was. Are there any other questions in the audience? Yes. Oh,
Hi,
okay.
ladies. I'm
We'll
with
take
Houston
you, and
Area
then we'll
Urban
take
League.
you, and then we'll wrap.
Houston Area Urban League, Houston, stand up. My question to the panel is, how do you continue to go after your goals when you've been told that you take up too much space in certain places?
I'd like to take that one. So I mentioned at the luncheon that I have unsuccessfully run for office, unsuccessful in terms of not winning the seat. So I have run 2 times, same district, technically the same audience of people. And what I learned from that was a lot of the feedback that I received was, well, you're Miss America. What are you running for a local office for? And you always show up all dressed up, and you this and you that. Well, I did not come here to be mediocre. And if you choose to do that, then that's on you, darling. But as for me and my house, we wear glitter on our shoes, okay? And so I say to you, take up all the space. All of it. All of it. So even in my loss, and my loss wasn't necessarily related to how I come across, but I refuse to allow for Black people to be misrepresented, and I refuse to to have the opportunity to represent not only where I live, but the goals and the ideals of the people who died for me to be able to be in my position. In my crown box, which is in the back, I carry with me a small sprig of cotton, because for me, it's reflective and representative of my grandparents who were sharecroppers and citrus croppers and who came to Florida in order to give their families a better life. And so when I think about what my grandparents, 2 generations removed from me, what my grandparents were able to accomplish with very small dreams, big dreams and small dreams all the same, they never would have imagined that I could have done the things that I've done, that somebody in their bloodline would have accomplished the types of things that I've been able to, and not just myself, but my siblings as well. So I am eternally grateful for the contributions of those who came before me, and I never want to forget that, but I dare you to take up all the space. And there's a way for you to know when you're being obnoxious, right? We know when we're just doing a little bit too much. So, you know, be very cautious of that, and don't do the most, but be the most every single day.
gonna get me a crown box.
Yes, you get a crown box.
I'm gonna get myself a crown box, and I'm gonna put all the things that develop my crown in it, and then remind myself. That's what I'm a craft person. That's what I do. Any other questions? There was one over. Yes, ma'am, in the orange. Right, you, right there. Yeah. Is that orange? Child, these contacts. Listen. Can we get a microphone to Autumn? Look at y'all taking up space. Okay.
Thank y'all. Hello, my name is Autumn Moody, and I am the Membership Services Chair for Thursday Network in DC. And a couple of things that kind of stuck out to me and resonated with me a lot. So last year, the plenary was on like healing for YPs, and I'm the oldest of 5. And so one of the things that I'm, experiencing now as I'm getting older and my siblings are getting older, they're coming to me for this advice, like this real life advice. And I love and I appreciate that, and I respect that. One of the things that I wanted to ask is, when we're talking about when you dust yourself off and try again, when we're talking about alignment though, how do you balance the difference between trying something and failing and letting it be that versus trying something and failing and be like, no, this is something that I shouldn't have done? So how do you balance that, and how do you identify something that you should keep pushing towards or something that you should just let fall by the wayside?
Briefly, Yep.
Can I take this? Okay. So I think we can all, well, maybe not all of us, but I think we can all relate to this in our pageant journeys. I will never take for granted the experience I had of becoming Miss America. And so I competed in North Carolina for 2 years and made top 10 both years, but did not win the pageant. But I moved to New York, got on with my life, had actually aged out of the pageant system because when I was competing, the age limit was, I think it was 24. And so I aged out, decided to move on with my life, and then I got a call saying, oh, I just got out of this conference, this Miss America conference. The age limit has been increased by 1 year. And so I decided to compete again, and the rest is history. But there's been other times when I try for something and it might just not work out, and that door, I'm a spiritual person, I'm a Christian, and that door is just closed. And so with that, I feel like when a door is open for you, no one can shut it. And so if there's something that you just can't let it go. For me, I went to the very last pageant that was available for me to compete at for the title of Miss New York. It was something in me. It was God telling me, go do this. And so I think you have to really get quiet with yourself and figure out, is this something that I need to continue on and continue this path, or should I let it go? Because sometimes it might not be the right time either. I think a lot of things are in timing. So I don't remember. I know that some of us, it took us a few times to win maybe that. For me, it took me 3 years of competing to finally even get to the Miss America stage. But it was all worth it, and so I kept trying. But I think it's really up to you as an individual to decide for yourself, do I want to continue this? Do I really have the patience to keep going and the perseverance to keep going?
Thank you for that. Thank you for your questions. And if you have other questions, I'm sure these ladies will stick around. No? No. Yes. 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 Stick around.
Got a flight to catch.
Well, thank you, audience, for your questions. Before we conclude this session, we'd like to give our guests an opportunity to share their final thoughts on today's topic. Dr. Turner, let's begin with you.
I'm going to start where Nia left off. It took, for me, 7 years, 11 tries in 2 different states to win a state pageant and to go on to the Miss America pageant. And I was told all along the way that I wouldn't make it. I wasn't the right type. I was told that a marimba player doesn't win the Miss America pageant. Half of you don't even know what a marimba is. It's a melodic African percussion instrument, a lot like a xylophone. I was told that most winners back in that day were blonde hair and blue-eyed. And although I can now buy it and dye it, I don't have either one. I was told being so outspoken about my faith, being willing to say the name of Jesus in public would keep me from winning. I was told, can I get an amen? I was told that growing up in the South, and at that time, a lot of Southerners were winning the pageant and that era was over. And to your point, I persevered because of the grace of God. And I don't know how to say it any differently. So if your beliefs are different than mine, take what is valuable to you, and then you can leave the rest of it. But for me, I believe that we are created by God, who is excellence, for excellence, and that He puts in us the tools and the equipment that we need for the purpose that He created us, and that the greatest success in life is to find that purpose and fulfill it to our generation. That's the ultimate success. And so that requires, in my estimation, a relationship with Him and to hear from Him. And that's why I didn't quit. Well, I did quit several times over those 7 years, but ultimately, as Nia said, the doors kept open and I got, drawn back in because I believe that was God's purpose and will for my life. And so my best advice when you're trying to decide, do I walk away from this or do I try again? I would encourage you, if you don't, have a relationship with your Creator, because He knows and He will tell you and He will open the doors that are necessary for you to walk through to get to your ultimate goals.
Dr. Turner's going to have us doing a lap.
Right.
Okay. Kimberly, really briefly?
Yes, I just would love to say that we are here to inspire, but I am inspired. Seeing all of these young professionals and young people here over the last 2 days has just made my heart so, joyous, because all we hear every single day is how our youth are, they're not going to be as prosperous as the generation before them, and they're not interested in the political process, and they're not interested in their communities. And what you have proven over the last couple of days is that could not be further from the truth. So what I would love to implore you to do is, as you have your phones and you're on social media and you are the people that we all look to for what is, like Nia said, you lead fashion, industry, all of that. I just implore you to show people this side and encourage the other young people that are just like you to show that as well, because the world needs to see you in this light and not the light that they want to portray. Don't allow them to portray you in that way. Show them what the real youth, African American youth, are like and what you're about. So thank you for inspiring us over the last couple of days.
Erica?
What I would say is that don't be ashamed of the challenges that you face in your life, because they may actually be the stepping stone to your greatest accomplishments. When I was in high school, I was the victim of severe racial and sexual harassment and ultimately had to leave my high school because of it. And at first I felt really ashamed of the experience, but that ultimately made me want to become an attorney so I could advocate for people who did not have a voice. And as Miss America, I was able to use my platform to promote preventing youth violence and bullying. And now in my work right now, we're about to release in a couple of months one of the first studies in the US ever done on bullying in the legal profession. And so when I look back at what I experienced as a 13-year-old, I would tell that 13-year-old, don't give up, because God has a plan, it's bigger, and He can use your pain for His purpose.
Erica with the K.
Erica with the CK. So I would, first of all, encourage all of you to find joy in your life. Vibe check. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Y'all are not on it. You need to find some joy. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. You're not even smiling when you're doing it. Like we're literally beauty queens. Can you please? If you're happy and you know it, then your face should surely show it. Is everybody smiling?
Yes, we're smiling.
Thanks. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Okay, very good. So find some joy in your life. Like I got you. I got him in the front row. He is cheesing. You need to find joy. Let me tell you something. Life is hard. It's challenging. It's difficult. We have great lives. You all have great lives. But guess what? Stuff happens. Shift happens. And when that shift happens, you've got to tap into some joy, or else you will go into a very deep, dark place. A few months ago, I unfortunately had to deal with funeralizing my father. And my father passing really helped me to learn how to tap in a little bit deeper to what really matters to me. So in the past this is my first time really doing anything since, because I've just taken some time off so I can find joy, because I found myself swirling with all of this family drama. You know how stuff gets with funerals and whatnot, and not talking to a few people right now, but you know, because life can get so difficult and so hard and so harsh, and gas prices are going up and insurance is through the roof, and there's so many things going on. And I like to wear nice clothes, so that means that I need more money. It's really hard. So I'm trying to save, Debbie, I'm trying to save. So I need to find joy because I need more money. So when I don't have the money, I got to find the joy. And I can always clap my hands, stomp my feet, praise the Lord, and smile. So that's what I advise you to do, is just find some joy, laugh a little bit, enjoy your time while you're here. I can't wait to see you all later on tonight at the Bash, Bayou Bash. But definitely find joy, be authentically you, and carry forth and prosper, and make sure you vote. Make sure you vote.
So I just want everybody to take a minute and to think about the people who are not here. And I don't mean like unalive. I mean like just physically not in this room, didn't have the opportunity to come and to sit in the chair that you're sitting in. I want you to think about that, because what you're getting to be a part of right now is an extreme privilege. And because of that privilege, there's a responsibility, right? You're in a room right now where you're getting to breathe rare air, right? There are people all over this country, people that you've left behind, that will never have this moment that you're sitting in. And so in as much as we want to find joy, and we want to find rest, and we want to find all the things that we need, everything that we are doing will be for naughts if we don't take it back and reach down to bring someone with us. We cannot continue to live in silos where we find our elite clubs and we just talk to each other and preach to the choir. Like, it's for nothing if we're not giving it back. So I just want to encourage you to take some of this rare air home, and all of the things that you've learned, pour it into someone else and duplicate yourself a couple times. That's some legacy, right? So, yeah.
Thank you. Nia, why don't you round us out?
Just to echo other comments that were made today, be kind to yourself, give yourself grace. It's really important in the times that we live in and all that we are doing and going through in the world. And so give yourself grace, continue to strive for excellence and strive for all the dreams and everything you want to do, because it is so possible. So continue to go after the things you want to go after and create goals. I mean, we all know about SMART goals and these little things we can do every day that can make such an impact on the overall goals that we have in our life. So again, I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be here among all of you as well. And I can't wait to see what you all do and where you go, and continue to learn from you and learn from the Urban League. So thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Please help me thank our guest panelists. Miss America, Dr. Debbie Turner Bell. Miss America 1994, Kimberly Cockrum. Miss America 2003, Erica Harold. Miss America 2004, Erica C.K. Dunlap. Miss America 2010, Caressa Cameron Jackson, and Miss America 2019, Nia Franklin. And thank you all for being here and being a part of today's discussion. Did you enjoy it? Yeah. Good. Remember to do your part to end Project 25. I hope you're paying attention, and oppose this threat to democracy by texting all in one word, Stop Project 2025, to 52886. Again, that's 52886. And don't miss our YP Candidates Forum this afternoon and our YP Welcome Reception, both here at the Hyatt Regency later today. Yep, you can clap for that, that's okay. Looking for a break between these sessions? Stop by our Urban League Now experience and lounge for a free headshot, refreshments, product giveaways, networking, or a place to get some work done right here inside the Hyatt. TikTok and Instagram photos don't count as headshots, y'all, so take advantage. We're closing out the day with Urban League Live, the Bayou Bash. You heard Erica mention that, a thrilling celebration of NOLA culture and music at Club 44, Champion Square. The Bayou Bash promises to be an abundance of energy, excitement, and Cajun flavor with a surprise guest musical artist ready to create an unforgettable night. Camouflage attire is suggested but not required. And if you're ready to take control of your career and your future, join us at noon for the virtual career fair. And if you're ready to make a career pivot, earn more money, we heard that, or do something where you're making a difference and you do not want to miss this event. So connect with us online, download the mobile app, visit the NULconference.org, And you can follow me on IG, Politics of Prosecco. Shout out to my CEO and president of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts, Rasan Hall. And please lift your hands one more time for this group, and we are dismissed.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for attending today's session. We must clear the room so that we can prepare for future sessions.